Have you ever met someone who felt strangely familiar, like your heart had been waiting for them, long before you even knew their name? You always thought love was supposed to be calm, predictable, safe, someone close to your world, your age, your scars, your pain. But life had different plans. One night, when you were emotionally drained and tired of pretending you were okay, someone walked into your life and completely shattered every belief you had about love. They were younger, more alive, full of energy, passion, and the kind of warmth you hadn't felt in years. At first, you tried to ignore it. You convinced yourself it was temporary, just attraction, just loneliness playing tricks on your heart. But every time they looked at you, something inside you softened. They noticed things nobody else ever saw. When everyone else believed your smile, they noticed the sadness behind it. When you acted strong, they heard the exhaustion hiding in your voice. And somehow, being around them made you feel alive again. Not just existing, not just surviving, actually living. It scared you because they weren't just loving you. They were waking up a part of your soul that had been asleep for years. And maybe that was the most dangerous thing of all. Because for the first time in forever, this wasn't a love you could run away from. Some people don't enter your life to comfort your heart. They come to destroy every wall you built around it. You had spent years learning how to hide your emotions. You stopped trusting people, stopped expecting anyone to stay. But them? They found their way into your heart without forcing anything, without pressure, without eyes. Every conversation with them felt like healing. Even silence beside them felt safe. What confused you the most was how fearless they were with love. They didn't hide their feelings. They didn't act cold to protect their pride. They loved loudly, honestly, completely. And slowly, they were teaching you something you had forgotten a long time ago. Love isn't supposed to feel painful all the time. One night, while talking about the future, they looked at you like staying was never even a question. And you realized how long it had been since someone made you feel chosen. They weren't just falling for you. They were showing you that real love still exists. But the closer you got to them, the more terrified you became. Because deep down, you started wondering, what if someone this perfect was never meant to stay? The hardest part of love is realizing your world no longer feels the same without one person in it. You tried creating distance. You told yourself it didn't make sense. Different ages, different experiences, different worlds. But your heart refused to listen. The more you pulled away, the more you missed them. And they noticed. One night, they looked at you quietly and asked, "Why are you fighting the one thing that makes you happy?" And honestly, you had no answer. Because nobody had ever loved you like this before. No games, no ego, no attempts to change who you were. They even loved the broken parts of you, the scars, the overthinking, the emotional exhaustion you tried so hard to hide. Whenever you talked about your past, they never judged you. They just held your hand gently, like they were trying to teach your heart that you didn't have to carry everything alone anymore. And little by little, you became attached to them. Not because you needed someone, but because peace finally existed when they were near. But real love always comes with a test, and yours was only beginning. Sometimes love becomes strongest the moment the world starts trying to destroy it. People started talking. They said the relationship wouldn't last. They said you were too different. They said one of you would eventually get hurt. You acted like their opinions didn't matter, but late at night, their words stayed in your head. You weren't afraid of loving them. You were afraid of losing them. But while everyone else doubted your connection, they stood beside you stronger than ever. One day, they looked directly into your eyes and said, "Let people talk. I chose you." And somehow, that simple sentence hit deeper than any romantic confession ever could. Because you realize some people don't enter your life just to love you. They come to fight for you too. And after such a long time, you finally started imagining a future where someone actually stays. But right when your heart began getting used to their presence, everything suddenly changed. Some loves begin quietly, then slowly become the one thing you can't live without. After that night, everything changed. You stopped hiding your feelings. Your eyes started saying things words never could. They became the first person you wanted to hear before sleeping, and the first name you searched for every morning. Even your hardest days felt lighter beside them, because they weren't just love anymore. They became home. And strangely enough, despite being younger, they understood you more deeply than anyone before them ever had. They knew how to calm your storms, how to make you laugh when life felt heavy, how to bring light into your darkest moments. At some point, you couldn't even remember how you survived before they entered your life. But the deeper love becomes, the deeper the fear grows too. And every deep attachment carries one terrifying thought. What if one day they disappear? Sometimes a single sentence is enough to shake everything two hearts built together. That night, you argued. Not because of betrayal, not because the love disappeared, but because both of you were hiding fears neither of you knew how to explain. You were afraid of the future. They were afraid of not being enough. In the middle of the silence, they suddenly looked at you and asked, "Are you really going to stay?" And somehow, that question broke you. Because beneath all their smiles and teasing, there was only one thing they truly needed: reassurance. That night, you stayed awake thinking about every moment they made you feel alive again, and you realized something painful about love. Some people can't be loved halfway. You either choose them completely or you lose them forever. The realest kind of love is the one you still choose after every fear tries to destroy it. The next morning, you went to see them without overthinking anything. When they opened the door, they didn't look angry, didn't look cold, just hopeful. And softly you finally admitted, "I'm not scared of the future. I'm scared of a future without you in it." And in that moment, every distance between you disappeared. Because some love stories were never meant to make sense to everyone else. They're only meant to feel real to the two people living them. And your love was real. Not because of age, not because of excitement, not because people approved of it, but because together you became versions of yourselves you had been searching for your entire lives. They didn't enter your life just to love you. They came to remind your heart that it could still beat deeply, wildly, and honestly again. And maybe some people appear exactly when your soul's desperate to be loved one more time. If you were them, would you stay?